There are many religions in this world. So it is like going up a mountain. Maybe one of the paths is you have to walk around the mountain for a long time, and slowly, slowly, you'll get to the top. Maybe another road is faster. You can take a bicycle. Maybe there's another road much faster. You can drive up with a car. Or another way, which is you can take a helicopter and just land right at the top. Whichever way we choose, it doesn't really matter, because when you reach the summit, the view is the same for everyone. So, what's that view? The correct view, the true view. We call it no view in Zen. It means not holding any fixed idea. Any ideas or opinions based on our self, an individual self's view, is limited. But if we can let that go and just perceive things as they really are, it's like becoming space itself. Actually, we are space. And space holds everything, without distinction, without discrimination. It is all-encompassing, all-inclusive. So, to return to this correct view, or we should say no view, or before thinking, in our life and in our spiritual journey, every moment, the way to do it is to look inside, to reflect inwardly and ask, what am I? Why do you eat every day? For what? For whom? We have to ask this very sincerely and honestly. And then we will see more and more as we reflect inside that any action coming out of desire, anger, or ignorance all lead to suffering. So instead, let's reflect, look inside. Then we become like a clear mirror, reflecting everything that appears. And that is the truth, just as it is. Truth always sets us free. Then we can do anything. We can be of benefit to ourselves and others. When we see the truth, we attain the truth, and then we can truly function with our full potential and with our full clarity. So in 2021, I wish everyone to have a clear mind, and may your mind light shine brightly.
Hello everyone. Right thought of the Eightfold Noble Path means not attached to any view, not holding to our opinion, condition, and situation. Just return to the no mind and connect with right view. Then the strength to help ourselves and other beings from suffering will naturally arise. Why do we eat and work every day? Generally, human beings have two kinds of thoughts. Either eat and work every day are for the pleasure of life and in pursuit of fame and gain. It makes our I, my, me more strong. Or if we keep doing no mind, right thought will appear. Then we will clearly understand that we eat and work are for practice purpose, to help ourselves and all sensor beings, as well as to put down I, my, me. Right thought will help us in daily life keep correct situation, correct relationship, and correct function, and be harmonious with the world. This is the great love, great compassion, and the great Bodhisattva way. I have a student who works with children with special needs in Singapore. The government gives priority for them to take the COVID vaccination. Her company strongly encourages all staff to give consent for the vaccination. She does not understand about the vaccine and has no confidence towards the effects of the vaccine. Her colleagues were discussing about the vaccine. Everyone was sharing their thinking and feelings like fears, anxiety about the vaccine. She started to feel the same fear and anxiety and thinking not to give consent for the vaccination. During the thinking process, fighting between want and don't want, she returns to do not mind. Then the right thoughts appear. She thinks, if I decide not to take the vaccination, one day, when I am diagnosed with COVID, then my students, family members, and my colleagues will get the virus infection. Can I bear with that? No. I will definitely regret for lifetime. If I choose to take the vaccine, I can do my part to protect my students, colleagues, and friends. I can make little contribution for the healthcare and community safety. I can trust the government and the professional research on the vaccination. They are meant to protect the best for everyone's health and safety. At the moment, the sentence, moment to moment, keep correct situation, correct relationship, and correct function appears. It hit her, reminds her to keep the direction clear. Only help all beings. So now, she follows situation, just do it and sign the consent. Right thought enables us to have correct direction, correct life to face the difficulty and life freely. Today, I share with you my view on right thoughts as my 2021 New Year's Dharma gift to you all. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Happy New Year!
Hi, Happy Lunar New Year from all of us at Zen Space Penang. We're going to talk about correct or right speech. Now, the use of the word correct or right implies that there is right and wrong, correct and incorrect. But I think real life is actually more nuanced than that. It's not just black and white. So I prefer to think of correct speech as using our words in a way that promotes harmony and happiness, reducing harm or suffering for ourselves and others. Now, according to the text, correct or right speech is abstinence from false speech, malicious speech, harsh speech, and idle chatter. So how does this translate into modern life? I think what it means is to try to avoid using words that will bring harm to others. Sexist, racist, hate, fake speech, speech that incites acts of violence or harm. So, Phil Jackson, a famous basketball coach of the Chicago Bulls, said it very simply: don't be hating. This guide to correct speech tells us what not to do, which is one half of the equation. But then, what kind of speech do we use when we're confronted with a difficult or challenging situation? Let's say you get in a huge argument with a coworker about something. What is correct speech then? I think one approach is to try to put yourself into the other person's shoes. How would you like to be spoken in that situation? Loudly and harshly? Or would you like to be spoken to with calm and with empathy? So imagining yourself in the other person's situation can be a really useful guide to speaking in a way that is more helpful than harmful. Zen Master Sun San used to say, make mistake, no problem. Perceive mistake and make correct. So we all make mistakes. It's part of being human, and no one is immune from making a mistake. So when you realize that, then sometimes making correct means admitting to it and saying, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Now, many of us have a hard time admitting our mistakes and saying sorry because we believe that it is a sign of weakness. I think that actually the opposite is true. It takes more courage to own up to our mistakes and to say sorry. Now, I grew up in an environment, traditional Chinese father, where you were not often praised or encouraged when you did something well. Cultural thing, I think. Anyway, I was told, don't praise someone in case it spoils them or makes them too proud. I don't think I quite agree with that. I think don't hold back, don't wait. When you notice that someone has done something well, then don't hold back on the praise or encouragement. As the old saying goes, it's easier to attract bees with honey than with vinegar. So the best guide, I think, to correct speech is to pay attention in the moment, to be mindfully aware of the situation, and to have an attitude of loving kindness. That, I think, would be a very helpful guide to when you want to speak correctly. Thank you all for your practice, and I hope you all have a wonderful year and stay healthy and well.
Hello everyone, Happy New Year 2021, the year of Ox. I think last year 2020 was tough for almost everyone, but fortunately we had this great teaching practice and also great Sangha, which make us still feel connected. I myself appreciate it a lot. So as New Year greetings, we are sharing about Zen and Eightfold Paths taught by Buddha. And my topic is about correct action. So one good way to practice correct action, if you face some situation that is foggy for you to figure out what kind of correct action would be good, then please remind yourself of 3 precepts. One is to abstain from taking life, and second is to abstain from taking things not given. And the third thing is to abstain from misconduct done in lust. If you try to remind yourself of these three precepts and also try to keep them, then it will be hard for you to go wrong with not correct actions. But also sometimes or often we face some situation which does not allow us to figure out what would be the correct action for the situation. Then as a Zen practitioner, I'd like to remind you of two things. One is keeping clear direction in your practice and also life. And the second thing is always try to return to our true nature, which we usually demonstrate in our school. This point, primary point. Then keeping clear direction, keep trying to return to our true nature before thinking mind, then the correct action will appear by itself. So probably it's like Kongan, a man upon a tree. As you, many of you know already about this Kongan, there is a man who is upon a tree, who is hanging from a branch by his teeth. And his limbs are bound and tied, so his hand cannot touch a bow, and his feet cannot do anything. And another man under the tree asked him, why did the Bodhidharma come to China? So if this man opens his mouth to answer, then he will lose his life. But if he doesn't open his mouth, then that means he obeys his duty and will be killed. So if you are the man upon a tree like him, how can you stay alive? Yeah, probably some of you already passed this Kongan, or some of you are working on. Doesn't matter. The reason why I'm sharing this Kongan is to remind you of this clear direction and returning to this before thinking mind, our true nature. And then the correct action will appear by itself. So sometimes it happens in our daily life too. Like you completely getting stuck in some situation, so you cannot go forward, you cannot move backward, just cannot do anything. At the moment, what can you do? You really need one clear action. Only one clear action will release you from the situation. So again, please try to keep the clear direction in your practice and life, and also always try to return to our true nature. Then correct action will appear by itself. So I wish everyone a clear, correct action, and I hope to see all of you again as soon as possible in person. Thank you.
Hello, we are approaching Lunar New Year, Year of the Ox. Ox is an animal which works hard, whole life, non-stop. So we are facing a year of hard work. In Zen, we talk about two kinds of work, inside job and outside job. Inside job is about keeping clear mind. Outside job is about using this clarity to help others. It is true that in this world, everybody has to make money. So Buddha taught us how to do it in the right way. It's called the right livelihood. So Buddha taught his late disciples how to make living without destroying their spiritual practice, without breaking precepts. So he taught them not to get engaged in 5 industries. He taught them not to take a part in trading with weapons, human beings, meat, intoxicants, and poison. But even if we are not working as a bartender, or we are not running a chicken farm, or you are not working for chemical company which products poison the soil and water, still we can create a karmic debt through our careers. And everybody don't like that. So how we can stop making debt and how to be debt free? Likewise, in our personal finances, there's one rule, how to become debt free. And that rule is very simple. Stop. Stop borrowing. Don't make your credit card your savings account, which means don't hope that the things will work for us only because we have some title, some status, or we were working so hard till now. Things not necessarily will work for us unless we make them work for us in the right way. So let's make this year a new year of the ox, a debt-free year. Let's work hard on our two jobs, inside job and outside job. And let's dedicate the merit coming out of this effort to all sentient beings. Happy New Year. Happy New Year of the Ox.
Hello, Happy New Year in the year 2021. So this year actually is a great year for us to experience what does it mean by correct effort. In our school means coming back to this point, this head mind. So whenever what we are doing, we are able to come back to this point, then that is a great effort. Actually, in this great effort, we are also keeping this clear mind. Clear mind is great effort, and clear mind is the precept for not attaching good or bad. But how do we use this good and bad? Make correct life. So it doesn't matter 2021 what will happen in this world. Whatever happened in front of us actually is a great opportunity for us to exercise this point. We come back to this point and make clear. So what do you see, what do you hear, what do you smell? What are we doing right now? If we keep this point, then we and the situation can connect. So even though our mind has many thinking or worries or desire, that's okay. If we acknowledge it, if we're aware of that, then come back to this moment. Because that moment gives us a chance to open our hearts to what it means by true happiness and a mind with no hindrance. So year 2021 actually is a great opportunity for all of us to maybe experience, to taste what is true happiness and true no hindrance. That is the great effort. Don't worry about good and bad. Don't worry about this situation, this world, many things will be very complicated. All those things, don't worry. Those things are for us to practice. Keep calm, keep our center strong. That is the effort of coming back to this moment and make clear. So in Sutra they said, if we want to understand the realm of Buddha, keep a mind clear like space. So when any thinking appear, or some external situation or desire appear, just keep this clear mind and use them correctly, and let our mind go any place, anywhere without hindrance. So this is the great effort for our 2021. Our effort is to make our mind have great clear mind, great experience of true happiness, and no hindrance. So I wish everyone in the year 2021 have great happiness and freedom.
Everybody here in the States anyway was looking, I'm sure in the East too, is looking forward to a new year, because everything has been relatively bad this last year because of the virus and politics and everything. You know, that stuff is always going around and around and around. So actually we're always asking our friends and our parents and relatives and coworkers to have a happy new year, right? Because the past one, maybe it was happy and you want them to have another happy one, or it was bad and you want them to have a better one next year, right? So that's an expression of good wishes. But this whole idea of New Year kind of threw me off this year, because, well, we here in the United States, we had our New Year 3 weeks ago, approximately, right? That's on January the 1st. And then in Asia, like Singapore, Malaysia, you'll have your New Year in February, right? And if you're an Orthodox Christian, you had it about 7 days ago. But if you look at how the planets and how our planet moves around the sun and everything, the actual New Year's is on December the 21st, right? That's when the season changes from fall to winter. So, I mean, this is true of everything, but you'll notice that there are concepts, and these concepts are created by our mind, right? So our New Year is not your New Year, your New Year is not our New Year, blah, 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 blah. So that got me to thinking, well, really, what is New Year, right? Because in Zen, we have this saying, the past is dead and the future is just a dream. Well, if that's true, then what's the meaning of New Year? So in the Diamond Sutra, it says, past mind cannot be returned to or held on to or held, right? And future mind, well, you can't get a hold of that because it doesn't exist, right? So it's very interesting. I always ask this in talks, so I'll ask you right now because it's very illuminating. Give me 1 second of the past, just 1 second. And I don't mean a photo or a recording of it or a memory of it. I mean, actually give me 1 second of the past, right? And you are just like me and just like the Buddha, you can't do that, right? And if I say, give me 1 second of the future, well, you can't do that either. So maybe in science fiction movies, they go to the past, they go to the future as a dramatic technique, but it can't ever actually happen. Nobody ever experienced that except in terms of their thinking. Right? So what are we left with? Well, we're left with the present moment. But if you watch closely, that present moment also went by. You can't hold on to it either, right? So in the quantum school of Zen, we use Zen Master Sungsan's teaching here. And the teaching is that actually we live in a moment world. That's called moment world, right? So the only thing you can do is actually be completely aware, completely here, just now. That's our moment world. that's always going by very, very fast. In fact, it goes by so fast that I said the present had already gone by, right? So that's where we actually live. And becoming aware of that is actually what mindfulness means. I mean, in some schools of Buddhism, they call it mindfulness. We call it moment mind, which means wake up just now. So the only time you can wake up is just now, right? You can't wake up in the past and you can't wake up in the future. So that's why Zen Master Seungsang always translated this phrase from the Diamond Sutra as past mind can't get enlightenment, future mind can't get enlightenment, present mind also too cannot get enlightenment. So enlightenment is this moment, just wake up in this moment and do it. It's not an idea, it's not a state of mind, it's a do it in this moment. But we're always thinking, right? So many times we're not here, but maybe your job in this moment is to think. That's no problem. The problem is attaching to it, right? So if you're attached to the idea of New Year's is the year of the ox, and that's in a few weeks in February, yeah, maybe that's an okay idea. You can use that to help other people. Or maybe it's 7 days ago, or maybe it was last month, right? But that's true of every moment in time as you go by, right? So we call these moments certain things, but those are just ideas. So you can use those ideas to help other people, but don't attach to them, because obviously when it comes to New Year, it's actually not true, except in your mind. So don't attach to that. So human beings are always attaching to that stuff, and that's what the Buddha said creates suffering. So let go of the idea and then use the idea, use this moment to help all beings. Then, you know what? We will truly have a wonderful new year if you can use this moment to help the world. That means help you, help your family, help your co-workers, help your friends, help everybody, help the sky, help the air, help the ground. That's our job as a human being. So Zen means find your true self and help the world. And the only place you can find your true self is right now. And that's this moment. Actually, each moment is a new year. And we just happen to call it the year of the ox. So I want to wish everybody a healthy, prosperous, happy year of the ox. No matter what your sign is, I hope you have a good year in the year of the ox. And you will have a good year if you use it to help all beings. So thank you very much for listening.
Happy New Year. It's amazing to live in Asia where you get 2 New Years every year. So we finished a solar year, and soon we're already in a new one, and soon we'll be in a new lunar new year. So double Happy New Year. This past year was very difficult for most people, and actually tragic for many people also. But in Zen, we always say a good situation's a bad situation is a good situation. And this past year has caused many people to reevaluate the priorities that we all have in our lives, and for practicing people to more seriously give attention to our practice. I read that the Chinese year of the ox this coming year is supposed to be a lucky year with no big catastrophes. So don't wait for bad things to happen to make your practice strong. Through the internet and when we can, personal contact, found that it's really possible to support each other. Human beings, we forget the fundamental facts of life: birth, old age, sickness, and death. And this past year has really brought that into the forefront of our lives, and in many ways disrupted our usual everyday lives where we can mostly ignore those facts. So we should consider ourselves lucky to return to an awareness of the fundamental issues of human life. If we can face them directly and digest and understand that our true nature is not hindered by any of those things, then we can live our daily lives in a way that's more radiant and bright and has love and compassion and caring for others, and really becomes a benefit for ourselves and others. So I hope in this new year we will redouble our efforts at practicing, at supporting each other, and at helping those around us. So Happy New Year.